So let me get this straight. So we had a dispute with guys who I guess are running the parking lot area, right? And how it is, I guess the area needs to be clear, or maybe she had her car in such a way that it was blocking the entrance to where it is that people need to come in and out of the gated parking lot area, right? And then from there, they had some type of words, and the woman decided, okay, whatever, I'm just going to park directly, I guess, right on the sidewalk. Because again, that's not a parking area where she decided to park, but she decided to park there anyway because she said that she needed to get her stuff out the back of the trunk in order to go to her job, even though there's clearly a side. You can clearly see the buildings, you can see the sidewalk, and then you see the street. And by the curb, I'm pretty sure that there was an area or whatnot there where she could have had space enough to park her car and proceed to walk whatever items directly into the building. But instead of doing any of that, this woman decided that she wanted to get into the face or the space of one of the men there, a young guy, and she wanted to brandish a weapon, which didn't make any sense because I want people to understand, at least from where it was that it was recorded, I didn't see anything from the area that let me know that, okay, he assaulted her, he hit her, there was a huge argument, people's clothes are shuffled and all of this stuff. No, because everybody was walking normally. Usually if there was a disturbance, there would be more than just one person that decided to film or look at what was going on or anything of the sort. So again, I'm observing the situation and calculating how everything would normally work out in other videos. So then after that, they have a back and forth. You see the woman try to antagonize. She's trying to go do a whole back and forth thing. You got me messed up. You got me messed up, right? All types of expletives and things of that nature. And again, she's doing all of this, acting all brave while she has a weapon directly to her side. And my thing is, if you are so worried about your job and work and being able to get the stuff from the back of the trunk of your car into the door of your workplace, then you should have carried on about that. But you opted not to do that. Not only did you opt not to do that, you proceeded, once you brandished the weapon and got close enough and had this back and forth. And it seems as though that the guy was not afraid that you had a weapon. He was like, yo, go on with that little weapon that you got up on you. Like, ain't nobody scared, right? You decided that you wanted to double back, which didn't make any sense. So didn't you make your point the first time when you initially parked your car next to what I presume to be her job, right? Wasn't that basically proving your point, and the conversation should have been dead right then, but it wasn't? She decided to then escalate it by grabbing a weapon to try to further escalate and try to, I guess, quote unquote, prove a point. And then this is what I talk about all the time, where you got women out here that want to specifically give justification to the foolishness and nonsense, right? One guy wrote on the side, he said, Slim said, and I quote, "Go ahead, nobody care about your little gun." Slim, a DC soldier. Youngblood stood, handled, and de-escalated the situation. This woman replied, she said, "He ain't, and he was antagonizing women trying to go about her business. Ain't nothing soldier about that." Guy replied, he said, "Nah, she could have pulled off. She decided to park, pull out a gun, and argue. Y'all just don't get salute to soldier, ladies. Y'all not dudes." He replied, "Trust me, we don't want to be dudes, but on everyday basis, we have to protect ourselves. You were not there, so never speak on a woman when they're being intimidated and threatened by a man. You just saw half of the story. Just leave it at that." So let me get this straight. So me nor any other man out here could look at the situation from a point of view of what we were able to see and just speak directly on that. We can't do that because we're not a woman and we don't know what it's like to be a woman out here. No, like what are we even talking about right now? How did you just move this goalpost to a whole nother angle? Like, this is what I be talking about, where people can't just specifically stay on the topic. We're not talking about a woman needing to protect herself. We're not talking about a woman in danger. We're not talking about a woman in fear of her life. We're not talking about a woman being accosted. We're not talking about a woman that is being hounded upon by a group of men. We're talking about broad daylight over a parking space. She was obviously parked in such a way that it was obstructing what it was that these guys were able to do inside of that area. dealing with that driveway. She decided that she wanted to pull up to, I guess, closer to her job, which was beneficial to her. But instead of just focusing in on that and just considering that a win, she decided that she wanted to run her mouth. And not only that, she wanted to get into people's faces. And not only that, but she wanted to do all three of these things while having out a gun. That's what we're talking about. You trying to bring up like, oh, but women and the world and men are bad, 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 and all this. Like, miss me with all that. Like I said, anything to try to justify the bad behavior that was going on. Because let's flip the roles. Let's say that it was a group of women that were, doing this whole parking job, and it was a guy that needs to get his stuff directly into the business, into the establishment, and he decided to pull a weapon on a woman or women, and he wanted to go back and forth and rah rah rah. Do you think that this woman here would have that exact same, like, oh, but you don't understand how men are treated by women, and how these women basically deem the men, and she's not doing none of that. She's not doing none of that. She's not coming through with an alibi. She's not coming through with an excuse. She's not coming through to try to just do. Everybody's going to be like, yo, that's a weak man. Everybody's going to be like, yo, what type of man pulls a weapon? That's what the comment section is going to read. And that's going to come directly from both sides. You're going to have men talking directly on this and talking down on that guy. And you're going to have, for sure, women of all races and walks of life on that video talking down on that man, dragging him directly through the mud, right? We see how that works. See how that works? What's that called, ladies and gentlemen? It's called a double standard. It's called a double standard. It's cool for a woman to pull out a weapon on a man or a group of men, even though that there's no justification. There's nothing in the point of view or from the video that we could ascertain that shows us that, hey, this woman had 100% right in order to protect herself, in order to pull out this weapon to try to, put out a message of a force that, hey, if you decide to cross this line, I'm willing to use what it is that I have in order to protect myself. You are not going to, quote unquote, intimidate me, right? That's not what we see here. We don't see any of that. We see an angry, yelling woman going back and forth, being highly emotional with a weapon that is capable of piercing one person, another person, and possibly another person. Or the weapon could then just go off, right? Because sometimes people don't have a safety. People sometimes walk around with one in the chamber, and the weapon goes off and it goes through a wall, and then it inadvertently hits somebody. There's been a lot of stories like that. All I'm saying at the end of the day is that there's no justification for this, and this woman needs to have her rights stripped away from her when it deals with her being able to carry a weapon, because this is not how you go about things. This is not how you go about things. And I see the exact same thing when it deals with men who want to be in road rage situations. Strip them of the ability to be able to carry and to have a weapon, because if you cannot handle yourself emotionally, you have no right at all to be able to hold or have the license to carry a weapon, because not only are you a danger to yourself, but you are a danger to everybody else who is in and around the vicinity. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this video and everything that I listed in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.